Okay, so this is my Facebook page that blocked. Facebook blocked all communication between me and the American people as a result of this post, particularly right here. This was the first. I made this Facebook account and then posted it because of the scientific discovery. Now it says, Eureka! In addition to those of the Big Bang, the P equals C over X equation can also be used to determine the number of chain reactions P in a nuclear detonation X for the actual or desired velocity of the explosion E. E equals mc squared. Faster than light travel is possible and is a product of relativity. Cosmic inflation is proven, explained, and is the evidence for FTL. Darks may be solved. Darks might be M6. M6 would be caused at any time by detonation of a singularity at M5. Such an event would be quickly invisible. Catalyst still unsolved. And so it's basically this chain reaction theory or proving FTL playlist, but I was just trying to share it on to Facebook. And then I've added some things. Relativity has defeated the cosmic speed limit. Here's the explanation of M6 universal expansions. Cumulative acceleration is not diminishing. It is increasing as fuel mass is used. Space-time curvature makes universal expansions non-linear, a la the Whippy-Wap maneuver. So everything is going around, space-time curvature. It's not linear. It's not like a linear expansion. Like a neutron through atomic forces, if something is unaffected by gravity, it should be traveling in a straight line. M6 linear expansions would have been at 1,116 miles per second relative to M0. Expansion and inflation means escape velocity. And then this is just some different explanations of the different science fiction drives. And basically, Star Trek's warp drive is impossible because it makes mass, right? And then Dune's fold space is actually a time drive. Length of time arguments are invalid for the Big Bang catalyst. Any velocity measure would divide zero in a singularity. The catalyst always exists, so it must be light. Light would not slow down for the singularity velocity error. Just like we talked about before, how light doesn't slow down for me to maintain its constant speed. So it would also not slow down for the velocity error inside a zero mass singularity. Therefore, it would no longer be a singularity. And so when black holes explode, they do so at C from N5 and create space. These explosions are not really visible, but the expanding space is. And so that's spatial expansion. Catalyst solved. Light must enter singularity to cause a chain reaction. For black holes, zero mass light orbits around the zero space singularity but does not penetrate it because it has zero mass. Light has zero mass and singularity has zero space, so neither one can exist together. So light has to orbit around the singularity because it has to have a length. The catalyst must have been light obtaining mass to penetrate, but once then it created space and destroyed the singularity. Curvature of space-time at M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5 singularities are chain reactions. Because each singularity has zero space, light could not collide with it normally. Instead, light having zero mass and being unable to reduce speed must orbit. So here's a little drawing I did. Light orbits singularities. So this is a singularity with light orbiting it, and then two singularities at M1, light orbits, escapes into created space, and collides with other singularities. There's visualization of the outline. If you ever are on Facebook, which I don't recommend after its insanity of believing that it can control who can communicate with who and block people off completely from ever speaking to anyone in their own country. If you ever are on Facebook, I have a lot of older stuff from September of 2016 for the executive outline. It's got this really neat video. It's only 22 seconds. But, Yeah, so if you're ever on Facebook, that's what you know. Well, it looks like it's not going to work right now. Anyway, it's just basically gaming the post number one, but it's just drawn on paper. But that's actually got an actual written copy of my book. Then now I'm calling it Strategic Astronomy. Then I went through the list of everything that I solved. Arithmetic, population, and energy, the exponential function, solved. Cosmic inflation, solved. Dark matter and dark energy, solved. Cosmic expansion, solved. Faster than light travel, solved. Now look, light goes at a constant speed. It does not slow down if I speed up. It's going to always go the same speed for me no matter how fast I'm going. And if your math says something else, then you did it wrong. Here is the oh, this is a pretty good video. I'm almost done with this whole thing. I suppose it's not going to let me play. But so if you're ever on Facebook, you can watch that too. That's basically describing the Big Bang. See, there's the secondary, there's the M1. That's M1, M0, you know, M1, and this is all from light. So, you know, and then I went off on warp drive in there, but totally like nothing in here, and that's the end of that's my entire Facebook, right? So totally nothing in here to warrant them uh completely like hijacking my account. And then not only hijack my account, I mean by blocking me off from everyone in the United States, but then they flooded my account with like I was only able to communicate with two people from like two different countries, I guess, like maybe more, but it was just it's basically just Saudi Arabia, you know, or at least Arabic speaking people, and then like uh Indians or you know, from India. And I mean just the list of people that over the last several days that hadn't responded to my friend request was so staggeringly massive. And like there was even people like I had been a missing person for 8 months, you know. And so when I came back, then like my old friends like were like, dude, are you still alive or what, you know? And like I had just barely contacted them, and so I tried to add them on Facebook, and then all of a sudden like they never responded to that, you know. And it was just like totally impossible. I, I mean, it was obvious that it became obvious after I had, you know, like I don't know how many like friend requests to scientists and Christians, you know, and people at universities all over the United States. And like it was like a complete shield was put up where I wasn't allowed to ever communicate with any of them. And I think that's totally criminal. Because what if there's an emergency, or like what if they decided to use that as a weapon against a person? You know, I think it's disgusting. And that the only reason they can get away with it is by being a a a company instead of the government. You know what I mean? The government would never be able to get away with it. And so anyway, that's my yeah, so that's where Facebook decided that I was some kind of prisoner or slave of it, and was going to lock me into some kind of dungeon where. And then you should have seen it. It was just like all porn star people. Like they was just sending me like thousands of bot ads of like porn star people and like I don't know, jihadists or something. You know, I mean, it was totally what Snowden was talking about. You know what I mean? Like like with the whole agenda. And I'm not playing around here. Like I mean, the stuff is, it's obvious that China knows that's what's going on. It's obvious that Facebook is selling this ability to do this to country citizens to governments, and that China knows what's going on and it quit using it. That Russia knows what's going on, you know, or that, and that the Arab Spring nations definitely know what's going on because they went through it and they had governments overthrown and their communications were shut down too. So it's time to put an end to this stuff.